Hey friends, it's Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner. It is June 12th, and as you can see, I am ready. Let's go, Team USA. I believe that we can win. I believe that we can win. Maybe not the whole World Cup, but I believe we can win this game. Team Canada is playing first, and you know what? I believe you guys can win too. Yes, I believe that you can win. I don't know what's over me today. I'm still a little bit tired, which makes me a little bit loopy. But anyway, I am decked out. USA. Okay. I'm a little bit worried these are cutting off my circulation a tiny bit, so they might not make it the whole day. I might take them off during Canada's match and then put them back on when America plays, because they are a bit tight. Ignore my injury over there. They're a bit tight. But I don't know. May have to endure. So, and then I've got my red, white, and blue stars. They're a bit heavy, and earrings can give me migraines. So again, these might not make it the whole day, but, and I know that this headband is different color than this red, but I was just like, you know, Rosie the Riveter, I was channeling all the American things. So unfortunately, I do not have hot dogs at home, because if I did, I would eat a hot dog today for America. I like to put barbecue chips in my hot dogs to give them a little crunch. So good. Oh, now I want a hot dog. Okay, so thinking what else I can eat. Oh, I do have some candy that is in red, white, and blue for America. So maybe I will eat a little bit of that because I need to control my numbers. And see what else I can find that's, you know, patriotic. I don't have anything from Canada. I don't think I have any all-dressed Lay's chips, which I know is the #1 or one of the #1 flavors in Canada. So unfortunately, I cannot do that. I do not know any idea of food from Bosnia or Herzegovina or from Paraguay. So we're stuck with American, and if I can think of anything Canadian. I don't know. I've got maple syrup. I could do something with maple syrup. Maybe I could, it's really, really naughty. Put a little maple syrup in a drink as a sweetener. We'll think about that. That's probably a really bad idea, but now I want to do it. Okay, anyways, so in 40 minutes, Canada kicks off. See, I was doing some bad math, and I did not think that the game started until 2 p.m. my time today, because what happened was I looked at the schedule, and the times are all in Eastern times, which, as a Pacific time girl, is frustrating, but it said 1500. So I obviously subtracted the 3, which gives you 1200, which I know is noon. But my 2 a.m. head thought it was 2 p.m. So I was like, okay. And then I looked at the TV guide, and it said it was starting at noon. And I was like, oh, that's bad math. And then US's game starts at 6 p.m., so there's probably about 4 hours in between, in which I hope to get some of the crafting done to get myself a little bit more caught up. As I mentioned in my last video, I am predicting both Canada and the USA to win their games. I did predict a 2-1 scoreline, but my predictions for scorelines are not relevant to whether I craft for correct predictions or not. I just am crafting for a win, draw, lose. Okay? So that's where we're at regarding that. Oh, it is warm in here. It is warm. I need to turn on my air. I need to take the dogs out, make a breakfast smoothie, and I'll make my snackle box in between the 2 matches. That worked out really well last night. I put in some like tomatoes, some grapes. I didn't even eat most of the naughty things that were in here. So I only ate about half of my chips, and I didn't even fill it up all the way, so probably even less than that. This is honey roasted nuts. I ate probably like 8 to 10. And then these are peanut butter pretzels, and again, I only probably ate like 6 to 10. So that's pretty good. It's important for me right now, because my test results were so bad, to focus on eating some of my healthier options. So I put in a few pieces of cheese. I put in 3 pieces of prosciutto. I put in tomatoes, grapes. What was in the other compartment? I don't know. I don't remember. But anyways. I'll probably put much of the same things in it again today. But yeah, so I'm going to go get ready, turn on the AC so my room will start to cool down. I did get a notice that my Germany drink tumbler has arrived. And yesterday my husband let me buy so I like the company Coldest for water bottle stuff. So this is from Coldest. They were on Shark Tank. It really does keep the drinks so cold. Anyways, so every week they release a new design. And they released one for the 250th birthday called Hamilton. And I was hoping to get this size, but as I went to go click to buy it, it sold out. So I bought a 20-ounce like coffee cup size, and it's got the lid of a coffee cup. So these all come with like 3 different lids, as well as like a fruit infuser. So you can choose what you like best. This one is with a spout. And then you close it and you lock. I'm not affiliated, but I really like Coldest. Anyways, they're not cheap though. So, like this size, I think is $60. It's a 46 ounce. And I was seriously debating getting the 1 gallon size, because that one is so cool and I don't have one in that size. But I didn't for this. Anyways, for bigger purchases, I just like to make sure it's okay before I spend that much money on something like a water bottle. But anyways, yeah, so he told me to get whatever size I wanted, so I could have gotten that 100, but well, I mean, sorry, the 1 gallon is $100. Did I mention that? Yeah, I almost got that one, but I didn't. Anyway, so when that comes during US matches, I will use that. Hopefully it comes pretty quickly, because it says they were ready to ship. Anyway, and during Germany's matches, I will use the Germany tumbler, which I got off Amazon. No, I got it off of Etsy, and it was like $30 because it was half off. So that was a really good deal. But anyways, so that should arrive today. Actually, I got the delivery confirmation, so I will get that. Jamie Bear, you done? You don't need to lick my shirt. That's weird, dude. Yeah, that's weird, dude. Jameson. We're going to go in just a minute. Okay, so they need to go out, and I need to start the editing of the last video. I had hoped to get it up before Canada's match, but that's just not going to happen, unfortunately. And so I feel like I did pretty good. Oh, Rose Pose. I feel like I did pretty good on my numbers, so I'm hoping that I picked decent numbers for my stitching. The thing that's been taking the most time, honestly, is getting them set up on Q-snaps and on hoops. So I might try to do that during the match when it's a bit harder for me to stitch. It's easier for me to do more mindless things because I get so nervous during the matches. So, like, that's why I did the worry worms, because that's, at this point, that's pretty brainless for me. So yeah, during Canada's match, I will be working on the worry worms for Czechia and South Korea. And then, maybe I can get done the 100 more stitches on Little Red Riding Hood. We'll see. Anyways, I gotta go because the match starts in 35 minutes and these dogs need to go potty. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Okay, Canada versus Bosnia-Herzegovina is over, and oh my gosh, that was a match. It was so good. I could hardly, like, take my eyes off of the screen. It was so, so good. 10 out of 10, recommend watching. Okay, it was like a game of two halves. Bosnia scored in the first half. They were doing pretty good, and Canada seemed nervous, okay? Like, it was clear this was a big moment for those players, and the nerves had gotten to them a bit. They come back after halftime, and it's like a whole new team is on the field. Their attack is on point. Unfortunately for Canada, Bosnia-Herzegovina's defense was having the matches of their lives. Like, we're talking about goal line clearances and just, they did amazing, the defense. Canada did manage to score. It was a substitute, I believe, named Kyle Larin, and he scored to give Canada's only goal of the match. So it ended in a draw 1-1. Canada deserved to win, though. The second half was just insane. It was so good. If you can only, like, have 45 minutes, go find that second half and watch that. It was amazing. Like, soccer at its best. So, during the match, I did manage to crochet our next 3 little worryworm friends. These 2 are for South Korea, and this one is for Czechia. So, what happened to my bag? I have a little Ziploc bag here. I'm not thinking this is going to be big enough for the whole World Cup, but maybe for the group stages. If so, that would be awesome, because then I could take one of the bigger bags from a country that gets eliminated and start putting the worryworms in there. But, doing them like this is actually, it's been nice. It's not been like when I'm forced to do them for orders or for the children. It's relaxing and I enjoy it again. So that is fantastic. I did not do any cross stitch during the match. Like I said, I could barely take my eyes off of the screen. So it was so good. Especially as a neutral fan. Like, yeah, I was cheering for Canada because they're the home team. They've never gotten a point in the World Cup until today, which is so great for them. And, but like, I'm not like a diehard Canada fan. So I was able to watch Bosnia and be like, yeah, you guys are doing great. You guys, Bosnia won on penalty shootouts and eliminated Italy from being able to come to the World Cup. So they're not a team to snooze at, and I can definitely be a neutral fan for them. And having gotten a draw from this match, if both of these teams go on to beat Qatar, they're probably not both going to beat Switzerland, but if they can both beat Qatar and get 4 points, they are both likely to advance out of the group stages, and that would be so cool. So I would love to see that. We'll see. Canada plays Qatar next, and Bosnia-Herzegovina plays Switzerland next, so we'll see how that goes. For their projects, each one is going to get 25 stitches because they each scored 1 goal. So for Bosnia-Herzegovina, we have Beach Babies from Dimensions. I love how this looks, but it is such a pain in the butt to stitch, which is my feeling about a lot of Dimension kits. Let's see, what have I done? So it looks like I have done some sky and then worked down the edge. Maybe? Or, nope, no, wrong. Okay, I've done some sky, and this is some fence. Okay, so this is the way that it is. So I'm just going to find a place that'll be easy 25 stitches. If I do the half stitches, then it needs to be 50. I need to remind myself about that. But yeah, I'm excited to work on this. Glad it's only 25 stitches though, because like I said, dimensions are difficult sometimes. The fabric is stiff. I hate sorting through the colors. Bosnia-Herzegovina's yarn is this color, so they will get 1 worry worm. Now for Canada's, I chose to do a Northern Needlework Expressions project because they are from Canada. And so I am doing the Twisted Band Sampler. Now here's my problem. I have 2. One is stitched on black fabric using hand-dyed silks, and it's in a like blues and purples gradient. So it would go like this. Let me show you this way. And these are thread picker silks, and it was called Ocean's Depth is the so I could do with this, but stitching on black fabric can be a pain in the butt. I've also got what I originally started, which is DMC on a like mushroom fabric, I think. And here is where I am at on that. Oops. So I am significantly further, and it is not on black fabric. I don't know. I don't know which one am I gonna do. I need to make a decision though. Oh, I don't know. It's hard. I love them both. I love them both. I don't know. Maybe I'll do the one with the silks just because it's fun to work with silks. Although I am at the point where I have to do a bunch of, what are those stitches? Where you go into the middle every time. Those ones. So I have to do another row of those. On both of them, I am at a specialty stitch row. So over here, I'm doing raised stitches. Decisions. Let's go with the silks. I get to move on to the next color. So I'll have a hard like line about where we started on this one. So yeah, let's do that. It's only 25 stitches. So basically like 3 of the, well, no, 6, like 6 or 7 of them. Oh, sorry, their yarn color. This is their yarn color. It's pink. It's not red. It's pink. And it's one of my favorite colors to make worms from. So pretty excited about that. I only need to do 1. So I hope to get as much of this done and caught up with before the USA's match, just so I can maybe be all the way caught up before going to bed tonight, because tomorrow starts our whole thing of 4 games a day. So that is going to be harder to stay caught up with. Oh, some condensation. Anyway, okay. I've got to edit yesterday's video, so that's what I'm going to do while waiting for the next match. It is 2:23, so the kickoff is in 3.5 hours, but coverage starts in like half an hour, and I want to watch the coverage because I think there's going to be like performances and stuff. It's the first USA match and we are a host country, so I will be editing during like commercial breaks. So that's my plan for right now. I got to get on that. So I will talk with you guys either before the US match, where maybe I'll do a little update, or I'll catch up with you after the US match. Oh, I did get my Germany tumbler. Look at this. Isn't it amazing? 26, because this is 2026. I love it. And this was such a good price. And they have all the countries. So if you're interested, I can try to remember to put the link. I'm very bad at remembering to put links. But if you message me on Facebook or Instagram, I can also try to send you links through that. So, or put a comment if you want the link and I didn't remember to do it, and I will then try to do it. Okay. So I'll chat with you all later. Have a fantastic day. I hope you're watching some soccer or football. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi, friends. Okay. Oh my gosh. Such a good match. It's nearly midnight because, so during the match, apparently the Wi-Fi or the cables or something stopped working and we got an outage alert, which is super irritating. The wires in here are frustrating me. Anyways, yeah, in like the 67th minute, and I was so ticked off. Luckily, I was able to stream most of the rest of the match on my phone, but then naturally, because I never keep my phone charged, my phone died, and so it's finally charged enough for me to film. So, I have gotten a few things done, but let's talk about the match first. Okay. Oh man, this was such a good match. Okay, we got to halftime and the score was 3-0 for the United States. So my 2-1 prediction was definitely wrong, and I could not be more happy about it. Okay, it was fantastic. Couldn't imagine a better start to the tournament for the United States. We played as a team. We won as a team. It was great. It is the recipe that you need to go far into this tournament. Please, 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 let this not just be an anomaly. But let's see. I'm trying to decide what I want to say. There were 6 yellow cards in this match. And with the 5 from the previous game today, that makes 11 yellow cards I need to stitch for. That's a lot. That is a lot. So the previous day was only 4. Today was 11. That's insanity, but I guess it is what it is. Anyway, so Paraguay was on the receiving end of 5 of those yellows, including 1 yellow, which was originally given to an American player, but the VAR reviewed it and overturned it as a case of mistaken identity because the Paraguayan, I don't know, what would you call them? Player did a dive. He was not even touched by the American player. He just flopped to the ground like a little flopper, and the VAR caught it, and the ref went to go look at the video and was like, oh, yep, that's diving. So the yellow card got taken away from the American player and given to the Paraguayan player, which is fantastic. Okay, this is a use of VAR that I will not protest because it is very frustrating when yellow cards are given to players who don't deserve them, and when people can just get away with flopping around. A lot of my problem with VAR is the inconsistent use of it, okay? That there are major decisions made in games that the VAR cannot look at and overturn when they should be. But there are some plays that can be looked at and overturned. And this didn't used to be something that the VAR was allowed to look at and overturn, and now they can. And so, in my opinion, if you're going to insist for technology to be inserted into the game, you need to do it at a larger capacity, not just selectively. Okay, if there's major decisions that are made and those decisions are false, then the VAR should alert it. That's just what I've been saying for years. Another new technology that's being used in the match this year is offsides detectors, and I think it's like if it's offsides by, I can't remember how much, but a buzzing alert gets sent to one of the like 4th officials or someone, one of the guys in the referee team, and he is able to raise the offsides flag. So, and I think that that's good because a lot of times the ruling is to let the play continue. And then if there's a goal or something like that, VAR can look and determine if it was offsides. But now that we have sensors that let the referee know sooner, there's not as much onward play and things are stopped when they should be, in my opinion. Because many times goals are scored and they go and they run and they celebrate and then it's rolled offsides. And it's just like, well, now that the sensor is able to alert the referee that there wasn't offsides and he's able to just stop the action there, I think that is good. That's a good use of technology, in my opinion. So there is that. This match saw our very first own goal. So I am going to have to bring out an Advent project and do 50 stitches for an own goal. Unfortunately for Paraguay, one of their players got in the way of the ball and it bounced into their own net. And I'm pretty sure America would have scored anyways because it was going to an American player. But the Paraguayan player defender, it hit and bounced off of him. So, excuse me. So Bobadilla? I don't know. was on the receiving end of that very unfortunate own goal. Then Flo Balogun scored 2 goals in a row for us. And then in the very last seconds of the game, Reyna, I've forgotten his first name. It's just left me. Scored in the 7th minute of added extra time. And it was beautiful and glorious and everything you hope for. I guess the goal at the 73rd minute that Paraguay scored was unfortunate that we did not keep a clean sheet. However, this is the most goals that America has ever scored at a World Cup match, which is great. That's a great way to start things. So I was really proud of the team, proud of what they accomplished, and it gives me hope that we can go far in this tournament, further than people really usually think that America can go. So let's see. What else do I want to say? Okay, Balogun. I'm fairly sure that's how you pronounce his name. This is a young man who could have played for 3 different countries. I am fairly positive that those countries are United States, Nigeria, and England. All 3 countries wanted him. There was a fan-led online campaign to get him to commit to playing for the United States of America, and he chose to play for us, which is great because that's not normally how that works out, okay? We are not normally the team that talented young players choose to play for when they have other options. But I am hopeful that this is the starting of building of a team of players that are talented at top levels, that soccer in America is going to grow and be more loved by the average American citizen. So I'm really hopeful, and I'm hopeful that this World Cup just brings that here. So the Rose Bowl Stadium, 70,000 capacity, was sold out. That's fantastic. It was filled with American supporters chanting USA. Celebrities were there. Ordinary people were there. It's great. It's great. And I am hoping that this spirit of love of the World Cup, of world soccer, goes on in America, and we are just able to really embrace that. So I'll get off my soapbox and just hope that, that's what happens. Okay. I am going to show you guys what I've done. We'll go over numbers and then the USA and the Paraguay projects. Then we will wrap up with my predictions for the matches tomorrow. Now, I'm a little bit worried I'm going to have to miss a match or 2 tomorrow. Shortly before this game started, literally, within 15 minutes before the match started, I was contacted by somebody who was interested in adopting one of our dogs, Annie. And they want to meet tomorrow. I tried to get them to meet me much earlier in the day, but they had company because the first match doesn't start until noon. And so I was like, can you meet at 11? And unfortunately, they have company from 10 to 2 or something like that. And also, they live in Modesto, which is an hour and a half from here, so they couldn't make it till later in the day. And so then they tried to meet at 4, and I was like, how about 5? So 5 o'clock Okay, so there is a match that starts at 3. Okay, so the first match is at noon, I believe. Gosh. Sorry, let me just consult. Let me consult the program. I was going to turn around, but then I realized I actually have one here. Qatar versus Switzerland, yeah, starts at noon. And then Brazil versus Morocco starts at 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. So I asked them to meet at 5 in the hopes that I will give Annie a bath during halftime. And then during the second half, we'll just finish getting her ready in the bedroom. My husband usually like trims them and blow dries them. And so then as soon as the match ends, we can leave to go meet these people for her adoption. And then the next match starts at 6. So that should give me a small window in which hopefully I will make this work before Haiti versus Scotland starts at 6. And then at 9 p.m. is Australia versus Turkey, which East Coast is midnight. Jeez Louise. But anyways, okay, so that's what's happening tomorrow. I really hope that I'm able to make that all work. I don't know. My husband may try to like convince me to go eat something or whatever, but let's hope not. Because I want to watch the World Cup. He doesn't understand my dedication and love to the game, okay? Try to explain it. Anyway, okay, let's do our predictions. Even though I said we would go over stuff, but I've got the book open in front of me. Okay, the first match tomorrow is Haiti versus Scotland. I am predicting a Scottish win. My predicted score is 2-1. And that is mainly because I have a soft spot in my heart for Scotland. I just like them. I don't know. Normally I like to root for Wales, but they didn't make it this time, so that's tragic. And so I'm going for the Scottish. Not as my main team, clearly, but okay. So then match 6 is Australia versus Turkey. Is that right? I thought I said something about Brazil. Look at my paper. This book may have gotten those two matches mixed up, possibly. Okay, I'm not positive. This book says that match 6 is Australia versus Turkey, but this paper here says that match 6 is Brazil versus Morocco. So I'm going to need to consult the internet to discover, and I'm recording on my phone, so I can't tell you. Anyways, I am predicting a Turkey win 3-1. Brazil versus Morocco. Oh, this could be a crazy game. This could be a crazy game. So I predicted a Brazil win, but I predicted a scoreline of 4-3. Okay, so I don't know. They're both good teams. So Morocco were the runners-up last World Cup. So I don't know. And then the last match, oh my gosh. This paper is not agreeing. This says match 8 is Qatar versus Switzerland, but my paper says that Qatar versus Switzerland is match 5. Okay, I really have to consult the internet because now I don't know. I'm going to stop this and come back and consult the internet. Okay, I'm back and we have answers. Jeez Louise, it's in the wrong order. Were you right? Yeah, this paper was right. My book is wrong. Okay, so the first match is Qatar versus Switzerland. I predicted Switzerland to win 2-0. The second match is Brazil versus Morocco. Then it's Haiti versus Scotland. And the last one is Australia versus Turkey. Or Turkey. I don't know. Whatever. It says Turkey in my book. Although I know that's not what they always have. Turkey. I don't know. Okay. So those are the predictions for tomorrow. We will consult that at the end of the day and see how much extra stuff I will owe. Okay. I did my stitches for today's earlier 2 matches. Excuse me. So I have these 5 motifs. Each one has 12 legs, so 12 times 5 is 60, so this is the equivalent of 30 stitches, and I needed to do 25. Then on Beach Babies for Bosnia and Herzegovina, I am not saying that right, I don't think. But anyways, I did these single strand half stitches. I did 50 of them to give me 25 stitches. So that is completed. Because I did predict 1 match correctly, I went ahead while my phone was charging and did my second round on the blanket. So there we go. That was pretty quick. And then because 7 goals were scored today, I worked on my crochet project and I decided, so I did the rest of the sides to get that done. That was 3 more rows. And then I decided once I got to the next step that each side would count as 1. Okay, so I had to chain 75 stitches. Then you have to go along this side and do single crochets there. So I am counting this one as 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I have to go all the way around 6 more times. So that's going to be the equivalent of 24 goals. I just think with the numbers as high as they are, like 75 for each strap, and I didn't count how many are on the sides, that is just the most fair. Because like if I were to do a washcloth or a bandana, it would be nowhere near those numbers. And now that we're reaching 4 games a day, so goals in all of those, I just need actual achievable things. So that's what we're doing with that. Who knows? This might even be done tomorrow. It is entirely possible, but unlikely that 24 goals could be scored. I do think it is unlikely because that would be an average of 6 goals per game. So I don't think that that's very likely. It's possible, but not likely. Okay. So then I listened. So while working on that, I needed to listen to 70 minutes of an audiobook. So I listened to an hour and a half while doing the blanket, doing this. Did I do something else? I updated the board. But I don't think I really did anything else. during the USA match, I did do Canada's and Bosnia's little worryworms. So we have now done 7 worryworms, and I need to do the ones for the USA's game, but I will do that during the first game tomorrow. So that's how I'm gonna do that. So let's see. What else? Okay. Sorry, excuse me. I think after I finish filming this, I will try to do my 7 rounds on the socks while listening to 7 chapters in scripture study. So here is my starting point. And we'll see. 7 more rounds will put us to 12, and that was one of the numbers I was considering for the cuff. So we'll see how long it is then to decide if we're going to do any more rounds. Sorry. I need to read 1 chapter of my physical book because I made one prediction correct. So, here is where I am at. So 1 more chapter will put me, oh, not too bad. Not too bad. 9 pages, I think, maybe 10. That's not too bad. That'll probably take me probably 20 minutes, 15 to 20. Oh, excuse me. Okay, the first Advent project I need to do 50 stitches on will be this one for an own goal. And now let's go over both the US and Paraguay's projects. And that will be all for now. Okay. Because it's the US, I wanted to give them a fun yarn for worryworms. So we have got this one, and I think that that will be really fun. The project I have assigned, and it was hard to pick because I have so many good patriotic patterns. But I ended up going with Patriotic Tiny Town. That's what it looks like. And here is where I am at on that. So I need to do 100 stitches because there were 4 goals scored. Now for Paraguay, I gave them this nice green yarn. So one of those. And then the project I assigned to them is Portrait of Veronica. Just because it started with P, and so does their name. This is Portrait of Veronica by Mirabilia. This is one I am constantly debating restarting because I do not like the fabric that it is stitched on. This is the fabric I consider restarting it on, and I just leave it in the bag as a constant temptation. It is stitched on a 30 count linen, and I don't like the coverage, but I have done so much of the black that like restarting it really feels kind of like a punishment to myself. This is how much I have done, which is quite a bit. I'm now working on filling in some of this darker green color. So I will just find some place to put 25 more stitches as I once again contemplate changing fabrics, but not actually changing them. Anyway, I think that that's all that I have to show you guys right now. We talked about the own goal. We talked about the socks. I still have to do yellow card stitching. Scripture study. I'll do that as soon as I finish here. I need to work on my sister's project, the one strand on Les Soiree. So, yeah. Anyway, 4 games is going to be a lot tomorrow. Oof. So, hopefully I'll be able to get more like crafting done during the games, as they're not necessarily ones that I am super invested in, that I need to like watch it super strictly. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go for now. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.